In Putnam County, deputies say this man tried to flee until his pants fell down. Seriously, 37-year-old Gabriel, I guess I should say, was arrested Sunday morning on charges of burglary of an unoccupied vehicle parked at a Palatka residence and petty theft. The Palatka man was put in handcuffs and his hands were behind his back when he all of a sudden just tried to run off from deputies. Deputies say his pant fell down. The lower part of his legs, they went all the way down to there, down by his ankles, causing him to trip and fall to the ground. So now he couldn't get away and he is facing numerous charges tonight.